Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sydney. I film cruelty-free beauty videos all about shopping your stash and making thoughtful purchases. And today's video is going to be my best and worst releases of February. So on my channel, I used to do like a will I buy it style video every week, and then I tried doing it every other week. And honestly, I just got really bored of that style of video. So in 2021, I've decided to do a best and worst new releases of each month, and I do it towards the end of the month. I am currently on a no-buy, so I haven't actually bought any of these products, and I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the case for most of these videos throughout this year. But I still think it's fun to chat about new releases and share my opinion on them, and I would love if you guys shared yours in the comments as well. But without further ado, let's hop into the best and worst releases of February. Alright, so in my first video, I did a really good job of sticking to like 5 best and 5 worst. I went a little bit over this time, but not too much. Okay guys, let's start off with the worst releases. So, the first one is the ColourPop Bambi collection. I don't mind the smaller palette format. I actually think they're really cute, but the color stories are just a big old snooze fest for me. Like even the purple one, I thought, like maybe I would find that one interesting, but really it's just blah. It's really boring. I feel like these palettes have done just maybe a slightly better job at being a little bit deeper so people with deeper skin tones can use them, but overall they're still pretty light in tone. The rest of the collection is just kind of meh for me. It's got some lip glosses, it's got a body shimmer, which I don't know. I feel like body shimmers, for me at least, are kind of a useless product. I live in Michigan, so it's cold for like 8 months out of the year, and during that time when I maybe would wear body shimmer, it's a little too much for me most of the time. There's also some lip liners. Oh wait, no, these are eyeliners. Oh, okay. I'm kind of into the eyeliners, so I guess maybe this part of the release is not part of the worst releases. There's a beautiful like matte mauve, there's more of a shimmery mauve, and then there's like a gorgeous, possibly metallic like pastel yellow. That's really cool. I'm really digging those. And then some lashes, but the rest of it's just kind of a big old pass for me. I feel like this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I was really not in love with the Flight Club palette from Kaleido Cosmetics. So the artwork is adorable. It's like this cute little bat. He's got some berries in his arms, super duper cute. And it's a purple palette, so I feel like this is most likely why they took their Violet Ink palette off the market. And personally, I think I kind of like that one better. There's just something about this palette that I'm not really driving with, and I kind of feel like Menagerie kind of missed the purple trend train. Like they were right on it with Violet Ink, but this one just, I don't know, something about it is really turning me off from this palette. I do enjoy Menagerie's formula. I have quite a few palettes from them in my collection. I just uploaded a whole eyeshadow palette collection video. If you guys are interested in watching that, definitely follow that link. I'll link it down below. But this one just is not doing it for me. Next up, we have the Urban Decay Naked Wild West palette. I don't hate this palette, but also out of everything that's come out recently, it's just like a big old snooze fest for me. I really feel like we're throwing it back to like 2 or 3 years ago when 90% of the palettes that were released were neutrals with a pop of blue. And I thought we were beyond that. Like I don't hate it, but like I'm also not interested or even mildly excited by it because I have this color story so many times over in my collection. Okay, you guys, I feel like this next palette is just so utterly ridiculous that I can't take it seriously. This is the Blockbuster palette from Hot Topic, and I'm pretty sure Hot Topic just sells like gag makeup gifts. I don't really shop at Hot Topic, so I don't really know what's there, and I've never tried any makeup from them, but this is so ugly in my opinion. I don't love this color story at all. I mean, I grew up when Blockbuster existed, but like I don't feel particularly nostalgic towards it compared to like some of the other things that were really prevalent in my childhood. This just doesn't do it for me. I think the color story is kind of god-awful, and it's all matte and it just looks like chalky yuckiness. Not a big fan of this one at all. Kind of the same story with this next collection. This one is the Peeps collection from Hip Dot. Now we're doing Easter collections apparently. I don't know, sometimes I really like it when brands do holiday collections outside of just like Christmas. But then I almost feel like if they do one for every holiday, it's totally overkill. Like the Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette that Manny released for Halloween, like his first, I think it was like the first year he had his brand, or maybe the second year. That was a really cool launch, but sometimes I feel like it's just like kind of a cash grab, and just really not well done. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about this release from Hip Dot. There's a 6 pastel shade eyeshadow palette. It's called a pastel palette, but there's literally like 4 pastel shades and the other 2 are definitely neutrals, and then a sponge set. The sponge set is cute, but the pastel palette, I just really don't love it. I have so many good pastel palettes in my collection, you guys. I have the Strobe, it used to be Strobe Cosmetics, the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette. I have the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup palette. I have all those Terra Moons pastel singles, and those are so much prettier than this palette, and it looks really cheap in my opinion, so hard pass on that one. Okay, you guys, and the final release that I wanted to mention, I kind of hesitated on mentioning this one because it's so controversial. This is the Nomad, was this called the Shanghai palette? I believe they've taken off all the pictures of it off their social media, and I don't know if it's on their website or not, but I personally, like, even before the Asian community spoke out about not really liking the approach that Nomad Cosmetics took to, you know, like Shanghai and their culture as a whole, I was not in love with this color story. I know some people were really into it, but it just did not do it for me. And now after hearing so many people speak out about how it made them feel, members of the Asian community, and how Nomad Cosmetics handled it, really not into it. Really just want to kind of take a step back from Nomad Cosmetics as a brand and give them time to regroup, figure their stuff out, and then maybe in a couple months or next year we'll revisit them. Okay, out with the bad ones, in with the new ones, you guys. There's so many fun ones to talk about. So the first one is the Adept Cosmetics Ninhydrin, I feel like I'm saying that wrong, eyeshadow palette. So I saw sneak peeks of this palette a couple of weeks ago, and when I saw the sneak peeks, it was just like the palette itself, no swatches or anything else. And then a couple days later I saw swatches and I was like, what is that? What's happening here? Like, what are these shadows? And oh my goodness, they are so deceiving. In the pan, I feel like they look like absolutely nothing, but on the arm, swatched out, I'm like, taking my breath away. So pretty. This really makes me want to grab this palette along with the Plain Jane palette from Adept Cosmetics, because I know these shadows are of a similar formula, and so I'm kind of thinking maybe in a couple months I'll place an Adept Cosmetics order. I've really wanted to try their shadows for a long time, but I've kind of had an issue with finding a palette that really like speaks to me, and these shadows finally are. So I'm kind of thinking this is going to be what I buy from Adept Cosmetics when I decide to make a purchase. So I believe this palette has definitely been launched, but when I went to go check on their website last night, they were pre-ordering it, and I believe the like soonest pre-order ship out date was like August or something. I cannot do pre-orders that are that long. It's too long for me to wait. I just get really discouraged and irritated, and so I think I'm gonna wait until they can actually get these in stock and keep them in stock, or at least like I buy it and they ship it to me within the next month or two, instead of waiting like 6 months to get my palette. So really gorgeous. Definitely keeping my eye on this palette. Next up, we have some new blushes from Tower 28. These are just a couple new shades in their Beach Please line. There's the shade Rush Hour, which is a gorgeous like light peach. There's the shade Power Hour, which is a gorgeous like muted rust shade, I would almost say. And then After Hours, which is a gorgeous berry. You guys, I really love the Tower 28 Beach Please blush formula. I think it's gorgeous. I think the colors are gorgeous. I have zero complaints with the one that I have in my collection. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to end up purchasing these, because I feel like these are pretty similar to the shades that are in the e.l.f. Deeper Cream Blush palette, and I've kind of had my eye on that for a little bit, but like from afar, I'm really into these shades and I think they're gorgeous. And if you guys have been looking for some new shades from this line, or you've wanted to try it but the shades haven't really appealed to you, I think these are gorgeous. I also wanted to note that I have talked about their bronzer quite a bit recently. Mine fell on the floor. I was going to grab it. But I did see that they are planning to extend the shade range of their bronzer. They only have 2 shades right now. In the campaign photos, they used the deeper shade on someone with a very deep skin tone, but there's always room for improvement. So I also wanted to mention that. Okay, next up, this next product, I'm more excited for the concept than necessarily the products that are currently being launched with this concept. So Melt Cosmetics is coming out with little mini sets. You guys know how much I love minis. I have a weakness for them, especially mini lip products, although oddly enough I'm not really attracted to these ones. So they have 2 mini lipstick sets, the mini nude set ultra and the mini red set ultra. They come with 5 different lipsticks and they are so stinking cute, you guys. And then they're also coming out with the Neutral Browns Petite eyeshadow stack, which has 4 stable matte shadows in neutral tones and 1 shimmery champagne. So the lipsticks I'm like less excited about because I feel like that's cool, but like it's not really what I'm interested in trying from Melt. But the mini eyeshadow stacks I'm very excited about because I've talked a lot about before how impractical I feel like the eyeshadow stacks are. I don't know. I've never had one and I've never like used Melt's formula, but I feel like the stacks are like chunky and substantial, and when they're that big you just rather put it in a palette for me. But I feel like with these shadows being mini, I feel like it makes a little bit more sense in my brain. I feel like there's less like wasted packaging in the mini ones and they would be really travel friendly and cute. So I'm hoping that they come out with more mini versions of their stacks. Their stacks are also super expensive, which is another reason why I've really stayed away from them, but I'm kind of excited to see where they take this product concept. Okay guys, next up we have a brush collection. This is the Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes collection. If you guys are not following Katie Jane Hughes on Instagram, like, go. She is so incredibly inspiring. She creates the most gorgeous makeup looks and I just like love her makeup style. It's very different from mine, but I love it. She's so inspiring. And she's coming out with a brush collection with Spectrum, and I've never tried Spectrum's brushes. I've heard pretty good things about them, but I've never tried them. They're coming in this gorgeous like olive green ferrule or handle, and then they have this gorgeous gold ferrule and the bristles are white and they just look so gorgeous. I just feel like Katie Jane Hughes uses makeup in such a different way that I do, that like if I had the same tools that she did, maybe I'd be able to achieve the look a little bit better. This brush set is super pricey. It's $235. I don't think I'm actually going to be purchasing it, but it was really cool to see, and it's definitely a product I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for reviews for. The next product that I wanted to chat about is from Kaleido Cosmetics, and this is the You Beauty palette. So this was another situation where first I saw the palette, I just like saw the palette with the pans, no swatches, and I was like, like I don't hate it, but I don't love it, until I saw the swatches, you guys, and the swatches did me in. I'm crossing my fingers that this palette is going to be around for a little while. I've discovered the Sandra Rose palette like maybe a year and a half ago, and by the time I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it, it had been discontinued. So I'm really excited about this palette. I've wanted to try Glaminatrix's formula for quite a while, but I know it's going to be a pricey order because they are an Australian-based indie brand and shipping can be pretty expensive. But this one is so pretty, so I think this is definitely a contender for my first palette purchase from Kaleido Cosmetics. Alright you guys, but I think that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this kind of chatty new releases format. I think it's much more manageable. I feel like it can get really overwhelming to talk about every single new release every single week or even every other week. That's just a lot, and so I think it's more fun, at least for me, to kind of pare down my favorites and least favorites and then chat about them with you guys this way. Let me know if any new releases caught your attention for good or bad reasons down below. I'd love to chat about it, but that's it for me today. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!